All right, so this is a lesson on Dogs by Pink Floyd. This is the second main electric guitar solo, way into the song. It's like 14, 15 minutes into the song. So this one is in standard tuning. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come up here and we're gonna go. So you kind of slide in from somewhere below and you get into the 17th fret, that E note there. You're gonna give some vibrato to that. Then you're gonna do one of those 1.5 step bends up and down. So it's like the equivalent of like the 18th fret. So it's like, give more vibrato, and then we're gonna bend this 13th fret of the second string, kind of let it come down to, and then, and that's gonna be 12 in the G string, 10, 12, 12 in the D. So we got. So that was 12, that D note, to 9 and 10 here in the G. So we got. So here we got 6 and 5, and then 3 pull-offs on the 7-5 on the G string. And then this one kind of goes. So 7, 5, 7, and then 7, 5, 3. Then you hammer to that 5, 5 back to 3. So. So that's going to be sliding into the 7 of the G string from like the 5, and then hitting the 5 of the second string and bending this one up. That's another 1.5 step bend there, like up to the 10th fret sound kind of thing. Now when you bend that one way up, you let it just come down. You don't have to hit it again. Okay, so this is 12 to 13 to 15. So you hit the 12, 13, and you slide the 13 to 15. And then you do the same type of thing, 13, 15, 17. And then 15, 17, 20. And you bend that 20 up. So we got. And then when you come down from that bend, you're gonna hit this 21st fret. Da-da-da-dum. 18, 17. So let's look at all that again. Now you got to pull off 17 to 15. Now this next one is 2 pull-offs, 15, 14 twice to the 17 of the B string. And then you start this thing. So that's going to go down da-dum, 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 2 notes at a time. You got 15 to 14, 14, 12, 12, 10, 10, 8, 8, 7, 7, 5, 5, 3. So let's look at all that again. And then we have, so that's the G string, 4, 4 to 6 to 4 to 2. Then we got 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4 to the 5, 4, 5, 7, and that's 5, 7 to 8, 7, 8, 10. So let's look at all that again. Okay, then we do this thing called a whole tone scale. Okay, so a whole tone scale is one step all the way. So we come up here to the 19th fret. We're gonna slide up from, you can slide up from the octave if you want the 7th. That'd be the same note. So we're going up to the 19th fret, and did you know this? Like these, when you got these dots here, this first dot, that's that first dot past the 12. And the second dot and third dot, that's those next ones. If you didn't know that, the octave type of thing. It's a good way to go like, there's a dot there, and here's the start over point, and there's that first dot again. So sometimes if you're like over here, it's easy to see where you might go. Here's an A minor pentatonic. Use those dots to your benefit. Okay, so once again, this whole tone scale is going to be starting on the 19th fret, 19, 17, 15, and then 17, 15, 13, and then 15, 13, 11, 13, 11, 9, 11, 9, 7, 9, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1. So that is one of 3 different parts that are playing all of that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's a guitar at the end of that goes, and that leads, that's the end of that part, leads into that next like triple kind of lead, triple bend kind of lead. So once again, we had the now you end on that 3, and the rest of this riff would go like this 2 here, bending up like a step and a half, kind of pulling off, doing a pull off on this D string. So now it's going to do kind of a trill there. Going to go to that 3, the C note on the A string. A little bend up and down on that 2 there on the D string. And then has a series of kind of pull-offs, 3-0, 3-0, and goes up to that D note to finish it off. So once again, that'd be like... So what I did that time was I didn't pick each set. I just let it all be with the strength of the pull-offs, making those new notes. Here's the higher harmony of that whole tone scale riff. Starts on the 18th fret and does the same type of thing. Every time it's a whole step or 2 frets worth going down. And it's going to end on the 1 down there at the end. So all the way down, it went down to the like 2 in the open to the 1. Now the third and final harmony of this one is going to start on the 19th fret of the G string. It's going to go all the way down in that whole tone scale. This is the one that's going to end up on the A note, the 2nd fret of the G string, and that's going to be the one that does that big bend and that little riff flourish at the end there. Okay, so that's the one that goes with that. So if we look at the first one again, we had the 19th fret of the B string. So that one would just hold that 3 right there. Then the higher one was the 18th fret of the E string. And that one pulled off the 2 to open and then ended up on the 1 at the end of it. And then the third and final one is the 19th fret of the G string. Hey y'all, this is going to be a lesson on David Gilmour's epic solo from Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd's The Wall. Let's take a look at this. We're going to be basically in the B minor pentatonic scale. Of course, it's going to mix it up from there, but that's basically where we're going to be most working out of. So the first thing we're going to have is... So he has a little vibrato on the 7th fret of the G string, and he has a little bit of a pinch harmonic on that too. One of those things. So it's 7 to 9, and then bend the 9 and give it some vibrato. Okay, so once we go up there on that bend, we got one of those like bend up and down and pull off to the 7. So we got, and then we got, so we got, a little bit of a slight bend on that. Then we're going to slide into this middle finger into the 11th fret, the G string. So that's 11, 10, and back a couple times. Now this 12th fret, the next note of that scale would be 3 frets away. So it's not a normal bend, it's a 1.5 step bend. So we got another thing where we go up and down and pull off to the 10 there. And we're going to end with that 12 to the little 10. So we got, so instead of just doing this, he almost has a little bit of a bend on that 7. It's kind of like milking those notes for all they're worth. So let's take a look at everything once again. Now we're going to start one of these. So that's that 9th fret bending up. 10 to 7, so we got 9 bend, 7, 7, pull off, 10 to 7. So we hit that 9 and then we're going to go. So we got like a down and a pull off. Use that flat 5th in there going down. Okay, so that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at what we got all so far. So we got, and then we got the 7th fret 3 times. So it's kind of the same stuff, but it always has a little bit of a different ending to it. We got da da da. Okay, so that's a quick slide down 9 to 7 to a pull off to the 5. So 9 up into the 7s here. So that was. So we got. So watch for that 9 to be bending. So kind of that same kind of thing. But then we're going to go. So we got a little chord there, 2nd string and 3rd string, 7s. So we got that. So that was little 7, 10 to 7 on the second string. So this one's going to be a little bit different than the others. It's going to go, you got that little thing, 7, 10, 7 on the second string. And then we're going to go. So that one's a little different in that it has that bend kind of early in the riff. So that's kind of going in like kind of a thirds exercise. So you got quick slide. Then we're gonna go. We're gonna slide into this 7 to 9 there on the D string, so that's 7 on the G. So a little tricky kind of a picking thing there for that chord. 7. So see how it's just still in the pentatonic minor. So that's pretty easy to see there, right? So you get that 7s, pull off. Now we're up here on the 14 and 17, kind of a rake. A little vibrato on that bend. So here we have the 19th and the 21st frets. Okay, so it's the 19, but the 21st fret is bent in just a half step, so it sounds like the 22nd fret, and a little bit of a rake. So think about that whole riff. A little kind of a hammer, you know, and another note, lower note. Now we're going to kind of rake into the 17th fret of the second string. And then bend it up. So it even has a little bit of a bend. So. Okay, then we have. So we got 14 to 16 on the G string. Then we're taking this, sliding down. Then we're going to come into this 16th fret with the middle finger. And at that point, it's fading out. You can't really hear what he's doing, so I just kind of did that last little riff. Go back into some of those things. So let's look at that high part again. Let's look at the whole thing one more time. All right, this lesson is going to be the guitar solos, David Gilmour's guitar solos from Pink Floyd's Shine On You Crazy Diamond. So the first solo happens at 1 minute 54 into the song, and it's going to be up here in the 18th fret. I'll do the first little part and then show you how to do it. So it's going to be... So let's look at that much. So we got the 18th fret of the second string. We're going to bend it up, vibrato, and then regular note in the 18, back up. So it's like, and you kind of go down to the normal note, and then you go all the way back up to the bent note and hit it there. So that one's going to go 17 on the D, 15, 17 on the G. So same kind of thing. You got your bend up, then you got your regular note back to bent up. So. And then we're going to have a downwards bend. And that's where the chord changes. So the main chords of this is G minor, and then that first change that just happened there, that would be a D minor. The other chords are C minor, back to G minor, and then later you'll have like a D minor to C minor, back to D minor, C minor, actually back to D minor, and then G minor. So those are the underlying chords if you want to know. So once again we got... And then we're going to go down. And then we're going to have. So that was 10, 11, 10 on the B string. And that's 12 on the G, back to 10th fret of the B string. And then 10, 10, 12, 10. That's on the G and D strings there. So. Wait a second and then go. So you do a bend on the 12, like a whole step bend, normal bend, and then an extra half a step, 1.5 step. And then we're going to go down on this one. So it's going to be. And then one more of these. 10, 12, 12. Then we're going to come up to the 17 on the G string. So we bent the 17 up, hit the 18 on the second string, and then bent it. Then we're going to bend that again. And then we hit the 15 and the 18 on the bottom string. So these new things are... So we're going to bend that 18 on the little string up and down. Little half step bend on that 17. And then 12 on the D to 10 and 12 on the G. So let's look at everything we got so far. We got... Ten, 11 thing. And then up to the 17. You can kind of slide that one down. Half step on that third string, 17 to 15, and then 12, 10, 12. Then we're going to have... So that's going to be a 1.5 step bend on the G string 12th fret. Then we hit that 11, which is the same note when you bend that up. And we bend that one up again and down. 10, 12. You might pick both of those. So. And then we're on 17 here in the G. We're going downwards bend. And then we're going to bend that 17.
and to the 18 on the second. And then we're going to take that 18. So we bend it up, hit the little 15, and bend it again. Then we're going to bend this again, pull it off to the 15, bend that 17 up on the G, and then downwards bend. That time we're going to hit that one twice. Fourth string, we got a hammer on, 15 to 17, to the 15 there, and then we go downwards bend. That's going to be the 15 on the second string. 17 downwards, and then bend, 18, and then now we're going to bend the 17. So that time we bent it, hit the 18 below it, bent it again. Then we're going to go, that's that 18 on the second bend again. Little 15. We got that 18 on the bottom. 15 on the second string. We went 18 to 20 and bent the 20, and then we got bending the 18. 17, 18, 15. So let's look at that whole solo we got. And that 10, 11 thing. Up to 17. Then we got this big bend. Downwards on a 17. Up to the 18. Hammer. Okay, so that's the first solo from Shine On You Crazy Diamond. So let's take a look at the second solo. Okay, so that'll get us going. So the first thing is we got this 8th fret of the small string, bend it. 6, 8, 8. So 6, 8, 8. So we got 3 on the second to 3 on the first. 6 on the second. Bend the 5 on the G string. Take it down and pull it off. Dee-da-doom. 5, 3, 5 there. So we got. And then we're jumping way up here. We've got first finger on the 15th fret. We're going to take this 18 on the small one and pull it off. So we pull it off and then go to the second string, 15th fret. Down to the 18 on the small one. And that's a half step bend up on the 17, back to 17. And then we got 18, 15, 18. Bend that one. And then we're going to go downwards to the 18 there. Then we're going to go. So that was 2 of those pull-offs. And then bend that 18. And then downwards, pull off to the 15. So that was little 18 and bending the second 18. I put a different finger in there for that one. So this whole thing would be. Now we're gonna have this 15th fret of the G. So that's a 1 step down and up to a 2 step. And then we got 12 in the G, 11 and back. And then we got this descending riff. So that's G string, quick slide, 6 to 5, to the 3, to the 5 here on the D string, and then that's 4, 3, 1 on the A. Slide into that 5. So you got, and then slide back into that. That was 3, 3 on the G to D to the 5 right there. So we got. And then you go bop, hit that 3 there in the G string. Now we're sliding in G string into the 7, and then little string 6, 6, 8 on the second. And then we go. So that's a little half step on the 10th fret, pulling off to the 8, 10 on the G, 8, slide into the 11 at the end. And then we're gonna have, so we do an 11 right there on the second string, and then we do a bend up and down and up again. And then we're gonna bend it extra. So we're gonna bend that 13 up, a step and a half a few times. To the 11 of the G string, we're gonna go. So that's hammer on, pull off, 11 to 12. Slide down to 9 and back to 11. And then we're gonna go. So this is gonna be the 18 on the second with the 15 down here. We're bending the 18 away from that. Then hit the 15. And then do that bend thing again, but pull off to the 15, so. And we're gonna do the bend again, hit the 15 again, so. So that's like a little 17, half step, and back, bend the 18, and then. So that was a downward, back to the 18, bend the 17, and you have that kind of at the end there. So we got. Then we're gonna go. So that was D string 5, 3, 5 on the G. Step and a half on that one, so we got 3 to 5, regular bend there on the 5, and then so bend the 5 regular again, 3, 6 on the B, extra. So when you do that extra one again, downwards, 3, 5, 3 on the second string. So that whole solo we got. And then that descending thing. Bop. Little half step. To that 11. That little riff there, and you got. Let me go low. Okay, so that was the second solo from Shine On You Crazy Diamond by David Gilmour. Okay, here's the third solo by David Gilmour from Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Pink Floyd. So we're gonna have kind of peps up a little bit before this solo. So let's look at those first licks. So we're gonna have 15 and 15. We're gonna bend that. We've been bending that 18 a whole lot on this one, right? Second string, 18th fret. So we got 15, 15, and then 18 bend. hit that little 15, pull off there, back to the bend. So you got, then we're going down low. So we've had that riff before in different solos. So 3, 3, 6, bend the 5, and then downwards, 5, 3, 5. We're gonna do this 15, 1, and then 2-step bends again. So that was that same kind of slide into the 12, use the 11 on the second string and back. Then we're gonna go 18 up here to the 18 below it. Then we're gonna wait a while and we go. So that was a slide on the D string, ring finger, 10 to 12. 11 to 10 pull off on the B to the 12th fret of the G. So let's take that solo again. Then we kind of wait and do that riff down here. So we have a quick hammer here in the D string, down to the G string, 15. So a downwards bend, and then a pull off. Dun, 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 dun. So we have a couple of staccato notes. So that part is. And then we got. So we got the 2 3s down here to the 6 on the second string, bend up and down to the 5 on the G, kind of bend that 3 there up and down, and then you got 3 5 3. So the end of that was like 5 5 on the G to D, 3 to 2 on the G, and then 3 on the D, 3 on the A, up to the 5 on the A. So we got. And then we're going back to this, sliding into that one. 3 3 5, like we did before, one of the other solos. Then we got the one of those guys again. Then we got. Here's where he accidentally kind of, I don't know if it's an accident. It sounds really cool though, so they kept it. But he has this bend up, and then you hear the open G string, and then. So you got. So we got the bendy bend. Then we have a bend on the 18. We go to the 15. Pull off the 18, 15. We got that G again. So we got. So we had the 18 up and we let it come down. Let it pull off, and then 18, bend that second string 18. Then we have 12 on the G, 11 and 13. Big one, 2 of those, down to that 11. Then we have that. This one could even be kind of like, and then you do a little harmony there. He has a little third going on in that. And then you got the 12 and 11. Take them back 1 and back up. So we got. So that's our same kind of thing. 3 3 6, bend the 5, downwards. So that was a do da dee da do da doom, and then 4 to 3 to 1, 3 to 5, and that's the end of that solo. So let's take a look again. We got. And then that double. Go down low. harmony. Downward. B minor pentatonic. So we're gonna go. That's the first third of the solo. So let's take a look. We got the 9 and the 7 here, bending the 9 to the 7. So that's a staccato one on that 9. It ends quick, right? Hold that 7, little vibrato. 10 on the B string. And then 7 to 10 hammer. Same thing there. And then we're going to slide into this 12 with the ring finger. Going 12, 10, 12. So we got... So that was bump, bump, pull off. So that was that same kind of a 9 bend. 7 to 9, then 9 on the D string. So we got a bend on that 9, little 7 to 10 on the B string. Slide into that 12 again. So let's try it all again. So we got that, the slight bend at the end of that. Then we're going to bend this 12. So that's going to be 10, 12, and then 12, 10. Then we're going to slide this 11 down to 9, to the 7, 9, 7, and then 9 to 7, 5, 7. So we got. Then we're going to have. So that was A string, 7 to 9, 7 on the D. Then we got to pull off to that lower 9, 2 7s on the G. So. One more time. Then we're going to bend this 14, 1.5 steps. So that was a big bend on the 14. 14, 12, 10. 12, 10 on the B. And then we got to pull off 9 to 7. Sliding the 9 into 11. And then we got this last riff. Okay, so we're bending that 10 up. 10, 8, 7, 9, 7, 6, 10, 9. So let's go from. Big one. Okay, do a little style points. That was just a little pull off.
Okay, so let's do the whole solo again. All right, so that's the first third of the solo. All right, so now we're going to get into the second part of the 3 parts of the solo. So the solo ended with so we got our new part there. We ended with this riff. We're going to have these 7s on the 2nd and 3rd string to the 9 on the D, and then those 9s on the same 2 strings back to that 9th fret of the D string. So we got 7s, 9, 9s, 9, and then we're going to slide into this 11 and 10 on the G string and B string. And then we have a big long held 9 on that G string to these 2 7s on the bottom. So once again we got so we just slid into the 12 there on the B. And a lot of times you do a couple hits on that and then give some vibrato at the end of it. So once again we got another one of those. So that was a hammer on 7 to 9 on the G to the 9th fret of the D. So that's kind of the 2 middle strings on the 7th fret. Kind of going down to that 9 on the A string. And then we hammer into this D string. Kind of a reverse rake too. Then we're going to bend that one, then we're going to double bend. Okay, so we got this big bend, then down, and that was like a wide bend to a normal bend, and then 7th fret, so 1 bend and then 2 bends. So let's look at all that one more time. So we got another 12 on the 2nd string, and then 10, 10. So once again, we got 10 and 10. Bending that 12 and then down. And then we're going to go. So we're going to put our pinky on this 10th fret of the B string. Bend that 9 on the G. Little double bend there. And then we're going to do that same riff, but we're going to do it on the lower octave. And that's the end of the second half of the second third of the thing. So it's hammered into the 9th fret of the D string from the 7, back to 7, and then on the A string, 10, 9, 7, And then on the big E, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so let's go over that whole solo again. So let's do that last riff. 3, 4. About one more time. 3, 4. And then the next one starts the same. So that's sliding into the G string 11. And then 10, 12, 10, 12. We're going to bend that. So once again, we got. So 10 to 12 to 12 on the B string. So that's going to be the 19th fret of the B string. And then we're bending the highest note on the small string there, the 22nd fret. So you got ba-dum-bum-bum. And then we're coming back down here. So we slid into the 12 on the B, 10. So occasionally you have these big first finger bends. And on that B string 12 again. So let's look at this all one more time. So we got. So here we have this 14, big bend. So we got 9, 7, 9, 11. Now this time we're going to have this bend. So that was a big wide one and then a normal one. And then a third string. So we got the bum, bum, 21st and 19th. Bend that one up. So these are the highest two frets we got here. And then. So that's. Da da da. So da da dee da da. Last part. And on that one you can kind of pull off. Then we're going to go. Okay, we got that. 21 and 19 there. And then we got this last riff. We're back to that. So let's take that whole last solo there. We got.
Bye.